NBA over/under win total predictions. Let's get into it. Look, first things first, I'm a certified casual. I would not be taking these picks to the bank. Let's get into it. Oklahoma City Thunder 62.5. Look, they were a great team. A lot of wins last regular season. They got over this number last regular season. They had a deep playoff run and won the championship. I'm going to go under. I think they're a good team. And I don't really think this changes the calculation for how good they'll be in the playoffs. But it's easy to take your foot off the gas. You know, you got a long season, short off season in comparison to other NBA teams. And it's just tough to have your foot on the gas to play good, hard defensive basketball when you've already proven you can win a championship and beat teams when you need to. I'm going to take the under 62.5. I still think they're a great team, though. Now we're getting into the 50s. So we got the Cleveland Cavaliers, 55.5. I think the Cavs go over it. Look, they had a tough round 1 loss. Round 2 loss, to the Pacers. And it was a little fluky. There were some injuries. I think this Cavs team is constructed amazingly. Now, can they get over the boogeyman in the playoffs? I don't know. This could be just, they're just not great in the playoffs potentially. But we haven't seen the Cavs be this dominant since LeBron. So I think it's a new era. I think the Cavaliers are going to dominate in the regular season. And I will be getting into my NBA Finals predictions at the end of this, as well as my MVP. So Cavs, I think, will be a very good team. Houston Rockets, 54.5. Look, I'm not all in on this Rockets team. I think they'll make the playoffs, no doubt about it. But, they were the 2 seed last year. Got a new player in Kevin Durant. I don't like the fit. I'm going to be honest. I think Kevin Durant's a bad teammate. I think this team they'll be okay. Above average for sure. I think they'll win in the mid to high 40s. But 54.5, I can't go that high. We got the Denver Nuggets, 53.5. I think the Nuggets will be a phenomenal team this year. I think they get over that number. Now, you need Jokic to be healthy. If Jokic gets injured, this team is going to be a lottery team for sure. But Jokic stays healthy. They got a good supporting cast. I really like what Aaron Gordon's been doing. I mean, Aaron Gordon used to kind of be a bum, if I'm being honest. He's transformed into a phenomenal third, fourth option on that team. We got the New York Knicks at 52.5. I think they go over this as well. Look, they have the best starting 5 in the NBA. Maybe make some arguments other than them, but I think this is the best starting 5. Dominant team. I mean, they got 2 good wings. I'm not the biggest Jalen Brunson fan, if I'm being honest. I think he's a little overrated, but that team is good. I mean, you got 4 guys that are probably going to be all-stars or be close to be all-stars. I think now they do have a new coach, so I don't really know what the new coach is schematically, what they're going to be calling up, and if they're going to be playing these guys as many minutes. But I think the Knicks go over 52.5. Orlando Magic, 51.5. Look, Desmond Bane, I don't care about Desmond Bane. I really don't care. You trade 18 first-round picks to get Desmond Bane. I mean, I know it was only 4 or 5, but Desmond Bane? Seriously? A lot of people who watch the NBA don't even know who Desmond Bane is. Paulo Banchero, I watched this team play. I think this team sucks. Now, Desmond Bane's going to help them space the floor a little bit, so they might suck a little bit less, but 51.5, I'd put the number at 41.5, and then I'd consider taking the over-under. I don't see that for them at all. Minnesota Timberwolves at 50.5. Look, I don't know. This is a tough one. This is going to be a push for me. I think they're going to be right at this. Look, if Anthony Edwards takes another step forward and gets into MVP conversation, then maybe. But they feel like a 50-win team. 50, 51, low 50s, high 40s. I think it's going to be in that realm. We got the Golden State Warriors at 47.5. Now, full year with Jimmy Butler. You got Draymond a year older. Butler's a year older. Everybody's a year older, if I'm being honest. But you got Steph a year older. It feels like this team could be a surprise, blow it up team by midseason. But I could see them also hanging in there and being a team you don't want to face in the playoffs. I'm going to go under 47.5. I think they're going to be right around that 500 mark, maybe a tad above. But I need them at 47.5. I need them to get into the 50s, really. I don't think that's going to happen. Lakers, 47.5. I think that's an easy over. I think the Lakers are going to be good this season. You got Luca, you got LeBron, you got Reeves. You don't have much else, but look, the makeshift center you got in the offseason, I guess it's going to be better than what you had last season. Regardless, I think regular season wise, I think the Lakers are going to cruise. I think they are going to cruise. Now, come playoff time, that's when bigs are more important. That's when rebounding is more important. That's when defense is more important. So come playoff time, it might get a little dicey. Hawks, 46.5. Look, they made some big offseason additions. 46.5 is pushing it. If this number was at 41, 42, I'd like to take the over and kind of be the sleeper guy. But 46.5, I feel like it's a 45-win team, 44-win team. I'm going to go under, but I'm not super confident about that. Los Angeles Clippers at 46.5. This is a good number. I think this is a pretty solid number. I'm going to take the over. I think Kawhi is going to play well this season if he doesn't get suspended for that nonsense that happened in the offseason. But I think this is a good team. You know, all health, everybody healthy. I think they'll get to 48, 49, 50. We got the Pistons, 45.5. I think this is an easy over. I think the Pistons get into the low 50s. And I think we're talking about this Pistons team taking another step. Not quite championship contenders, but last season they weren't even really playoff contenders. They weren't Eastern Conference Final contenders. I think they're going to take the step to be a legit team that can they make it to the championship? Can they make it to the Eastern Conference Final? So I take the over there. Bucks, 44.5. I don't see it. They got Giannis. They got Turner. What else do they have? I don't know what else they have. I mean, we're expecting them to be an above-average team. I don't see it at all. I'm taking the under there. Boston Celtics 43.5. They lost everybody. They got Brown. They got White. They lost Horford. They lost Porzingis. They lost Tatum. What? How is this team going to be a winning team? I don't see it at all. I mean, 43.5. You know, if the Celtics were at 33.5, I'd look at that and be like, you know, they got Jaylen Brown. He's truly a one, but 43.5, no way. Sixers 43.5. That's a tough number, you know. I'm not sure. You know, not to cop out here, but I'm not sure because the Sixers, this is the kind of one where you don't want to bet the over-under. You'd want to take an alternative line over 55. Because I think if everything clicks, this is a championship team. But the chances of everything clicking are maybe 25%. I think it's more likely than not they go under 43. But I think there is a good chance they go over 55. So I'm not really sure what to do with that number. San Antonio Spurs, 43.5. I'm not going to be talking about them. I'm getting to them later in the video. Memphis Grizzlies, 40.5. You got Ja, you got Jaren Jackson Jr. Desmond Bane, I don't really care about the loss of him. I'm going to take the over 40.5. I think they'll be an average team. Now we're getting into the teams with the 30s win projections. Dallas Mavericks, 39.5. Seriously? You got AD? You got Kyrie going to come back? You got Cooper Flag? PJ, I mean, I think this is a good team, a mid to high 40s team. It's a 6 seed, 7 seed, 5th seed. I think it's a legit team. Mavericks at 39.5. I don't agree with that number at all. We also have the Indiana Pacers at 39.5. They lost Turner. They lost Halliburton. I mean, McConnell's. I don't know what's gonna. They lost the primary ball handler and then the stretch big, and they were kind of already a Cinderella team. I'm taking the under here. I'm taking the under. Miami Heat 37.5. It's tough to expect a Heat team to be bad because of how dominant they've been and how feisty they've been in the last 10, 20 years, but I don't see how this Heat team gets to 40 wins. Sacramento Kings 37.5. I don't think the Kings are bad. I just think the West is so good. You know, we've got teams like the Mavericks, the Grizzlies. You know, those are teams that I don't think the Kings are going to beat. I don't think the Kings are going to beat them. We got the Toronto Raptors 35.5. I don't really care about the Raptors. The Raptors are irrelevant. Portland Trailblazers, that is an interesting one. They're a young and up-and-coming team. 33.5. That's not, you don't need many wins. The Blazers are an interesting one, and it looks like they're kind of trying to compete this year. I'm going to take the over. On that. Chicago Bulls 32.5. If everybody's healthy, I don't see it. Nobody's going to be healthy. I don't even know why I said if everybody's healthy, because that's not going to happen. They'll be under that number. We got the Pelicans at 31.5. I think they go over. They've got some talent. I think Zon's a good player. You got Ingram. I think that's a nice little 39-win team that makes it to the play-in. I think the Pelicans are, I don't think they're one of the worst teams in the league. You got the Suns, 31.5. They've got a lot of guards. Devin Booker, Devin Booker, we got to hold him to a higher standard. Look, if you're going to be one of the elite guys with Beal, with 6 other shooting guards, you got to get above 31 wins. I don't think they're going to do it, though. Now we get into the bottom feeders. These teams are projected 29 or less wins. We got the Hornets at 25.5. I don't know. I think the Hornets will accidentally win over 25.5. Accidentally. Nets at 21.5. Man, these are tough because these teams suck. We got the Wizards and Nets both at 21.5. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they're going to beat some teams. They're not going to be, if they go under this mark, they're not going to be far under it. Obviously, you're not going to win single-digit games. I'm not going to touch on the Nets or Wizards, but Utah Jazz at 18.5. Are we serious? We think the Jazz are going to win less than a fourth of their games? I mean, come on. This is an NBA team. They're going to get lucky a few nights. They're going to be better than we expect. They're going to go over 18.5. Now, my NBA Finals prediction. I have the Cleveland Cavaliers beating the San Antonio Spurs. Look, I mentioned the Cavaliers. They're a great team. I think that was a hiccup in the playoffs. I don't think that's indicative of this team. I think they are built for the playoffs. The Celtics are done. The Pacers are done. They're going to compete with the Knicks for sure. I think that's the Eastern Conference Finals is the Knicks and Cavs. I don't really see another legit Eastern Conference contender. The Hawks could make some noise. A lot of people think the Magic can make some noise, but I think it's going to be those two teams. I think the Cavs will come out victorious. Now, in terms of the Spurs, I like the Spurs team a lot. I think Victor is going to once again be the Defensive Player of the Year. I think all that guard talent is going to be phenomenal. I think they're going to make a midseason trade to get them over the hump at the small forward or power forward position, or maybe get a center to help Wemby play power forward. But my MVP is going to be Victor Wembanyama as well. I think he's going to be a force, the best defender in the league by a large margin, a top 10 offensive player.